Good morning, everybody. This is Lisa Lashendro. I am one of the marketing directors on the annuity side here at Insurance Agency Marketing Services. Today, we're going to talk about preset appointments. And with it being, the beginning of a whole new year, 2022, I've got my pal Rob here. He's the head of our appointment setting company. Say hi, Rob.
Hi, guys. I'm here. Sorry, I had you on mute so I wouldn't accidentally cough on you.
Thank you. I do appreciate
Welcome,
it.
everybody. Welcome.
So, yeah, I'm looking at the attendees here. We got a nice group of folks. I'm excited about that. Some of these names I am very familiar with, so welcome back. But there are several names here that I've not seen before. So for you that are new to IMS and this is your first webinar, welcome. I hope you enjoy what you hear here and are able to take some good stuff home with you to help you grow and increase your revenue for 2022. So with that, I am going to get started. I'm going to tell you a little bit about IMS and what it's like joining what I call our IMS family. I really do feel like it's a family here. You end up becoming buddies and neighbors with other producers. Everybody here, it's like oh, what's that show, Rob? With the bar. Everybody knows your name.
Yeah, everybody knows your name. I know what you're talking about.
Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and get into it so that you guys have a good understanding what IMS is all about, and then we'll jump into preset appointments with our buddy Rob here. So with that, I'm going to get started. All right, so when you join IMS and the IMS family, we like to give you a little thank you and a little bonus right out of the gate. So we have our new producer builders program. With this, whatever level you hit in the first 6 months in being contracted with IMS, whether that's $100,000 in premium, whether it's $1 million in premium, we're going to give you a little boost with marketing dollars or help with your marketing or your practice or your business. Whatever it is that will help you with your business is what we want to do. So um, it could be as simple as just $750 in cash. Maybe you want to reimburse yourself for some marketing or developing a website. Maybe you want us to develop a website. Maybe you want postcards or, pay for some of your preset appointments or things like that. We love to think outside of the box. Steve Murray, our president, is happy to accommodate and, work with you on these numbers because we know that maybe seminars is not a good fit for everybody. And that's what I like about IMS is that we don't try to throw something at you that's not going to work or be a good fit for your business. So keep that in mind when you're working with us. Here's a nice little, shot of what we get you started with. Next, I know you guys like referrals. Never a better form of flattery than to get a referral, and well, so do we. But we are going to reimburse you and thank you for those referrals with either cash right out of the gate, $50 one time bonus once your agent or referral agent contracts with us. And then you can get an override depending on whether it's life, index annuity, SPL, MIGA. It's kind of listed out here in front of you of what you would get just because you referred them. So we really thank you and show that appreciation to you with this because without you, we wouldn't be able to do business with them. Next, our back office support is phenomenal. A lot of our agents rave about us because of this alone. If you think about the time that you spend on the phone, hours waiting for a carrier to give you status, Googling or researching, a certain strategy or sales topics, who's the best carrier, all of that, you have it just by knowing our one phone number, 1-800 number, call us and we will help you with it all. We'll be your back office support. I tell a lot of my agents, hey, I'm your right hand man. You call me, I'll take care of it because I want you guys out there getting in front of people. That's what you need to be doing. Let IMS take care of the rest, take that work off your shoulders, and help you grow your business that way as well. What's the saying, Rob? Time is money, right?
Time is money. Yes, ma'am. You're right.
I do encourage everybody to go on our website. You're going to see a plethora of information here. Just go to www.imsinc.com. Here you can register. We'll keep you in the loop with webinars like this and other webinars that we have. And we try to do educational webinars at least 3 to 4, maybe 5 times a week, just to keep you posted. But on that website, you can go to our YouTube channel, see any webinars that you've missed, things like that. So yeah, definitely check that out. You will find it very easy to use. It's user friendly and has a lot of resources there for you. One of the resources that we have on our website would be Firelight. And for those of you that are not familiar with Firelight, Firelight is one of the industry lead platforms to do e-apps, electronic apps. So everything is, the signatures electronic. You can literally do preset appointments from the comfort of your home and never have to deliver anything or never have to go and get a signature because we have access to this program. With this program, here's a 10,000-foot view of some of the carriers that we have on that. Obviously, our carriers are always growing on Firelight because we're always adding new carriers and the industry changes, as you know. I do want to talk to you guys a little bit about our creative marketing solutions. Our creative team is just phenomenal. I love these guys and gal. They really are talented and thinking outside the box. They're talented on their designs. There's just they do an amazing job. I have not had any of my agents not be blown away with the results that these guys provide. So if there is anything that you're looking to improve on, whether that's newsletters, maybe it's a logo, email marketing, just consulting, social media, or even completely starting from scratch and developing a website, developing social media, we can help you with all that. And they're all in-house. So again, just that 800 number, and you really get whatever it is that you need. Once you start writing some business with us, we do provide software called Retirement Analyzer. And I know a lot of agents love this because it's easy to understand. It looks very professional for your clients when you're doing a presentation or trying to explain a solution to their retirement needs. This is a great platform. I think it's usually like, you can go anywhere between 100 and 300 bucks a month for this. Well, we take care of that for you. It's just one of the perks you get working with IMS. Next, I definitely want to introduce you guys to our IMS Wealth Management and those folks there. I mean, I had probably 3 or 4 conversations just yesterday with agents that didn't realize that we had this opportunity here as well. And I want to make sure that we're spreading the word. We developed this entity with IMS on the wealth management side, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 years ago, I guess, because we really wanted to be that resource for you guys and make sure that you have everything that you need here with us. So there's a couple different routes that you can go using IMS Wealth Management. One of the conversations I had yesterday with one of my agents was, he's got, a client that has a grip of money, but he doesn't want to go to the bank because that banker is going to try to take the rest of it and they're not going to let that money go. Well, utilize our IMS Wealth Management team. Zach would be more than happy to talk to the client and help her start an IRA or whatnot. And that way he has complete control of his client. No one's going to try to dig or, take that client away from him or the other opportunities that client might have. And so it's just a really nice way to be able to control your business. Now, if that agent decides to go and get registered and have his Series 6 or 65, whatever, then I'm going to hook him up with our buddy Duncan over there. And he's going to help you get registered, get licensed, set you up. There's a lot of perks you get with IMS, like they will develop your website for you. It's all included in their packages. So if you have any questions on IMS Wealth Management, I strongly recommend let us know, give us a call. I'm going to launch here a poll. If you would like to learn more about IMS Wealth Management, have some particular questions, please check off the yes box, and Duncan or Zach or one of us will definitely get back to you here today and answer those questions for you. So I'll just give this a minute and let everybody vote, because we got a nice attendee list here. In freezing Nebraska, I think it was 8 degrees.
Lovely. That's a little cold.
Yeah, especially for you in California.
Yeah, exactly.
I
Very
mean,
cold. I mean,
did you?
come on. I don't like that snow anymore.
Oh, no, it's horrible. Horrible.
Horrible.
I'm going to send it your way. California's going to get a freeze.
Are they? It's been cold for here.
Whatever. Yeah, whatever. All right. I think we've got everybody that's going to answer, that has answered. So I'm going to keep moving on here, folks. Now, everybody's got trips, right? A lot of IMOs have trips here and there, but we really did pull out the stops on our top producer summit trip here that is coming up. The qualification period, we still have time for this, guys. It doesn't end until the end of June of 2022. So it takes 4.5 million points to qualify. Keep an eye out on your emails and things like that. Usually, Steve Murray will throw out some, hey, double points here for this trip, for whatever business or whatever that, coming out. So we like to send some of those, usually happen towards when we get closer. But anyway, keep this trip in mind. We love to reward those that are kicking butt and taking names. We also have our Life and Annuity Academy. Our last one that we held was, I think, beginning of October. But this is an all expense trip that is completely 100% on IMS. We pay for your transportation, hotel, food, drink, it all. We bring in some of the top speakers in our industry. We go over advanced sales ideas, things like that. Here's a list of some of the things that you'll get with that, with concepts, maybe income writers. I think our next one is really going to be geared on life insurance, and then we'll always touch in on annuities too. But if this is something that you're interested in, don't hesitate to let us know. Give me a call. You do have to be contracted with us here at IMS, so I'm going to send out one more poll here. If you're interested in the Life and Annuity Academy or getting contracted with IMS to be able to take advantage of, somebody just sent me a message, 78 in Florida. Thanks, Enrique. If you're interested in learning more about IMS, give me a holler back. Would love to help you out there too. So with that, I'm going to close the poll. Looks like we got pretty much everyone that's voted that's going to vote. All right. Of course, we're a marketing organization, so we have Facebook and LinkedIn. Here are the links for that. Facebook.com at IMS Inc. or LinkedIn/company/insurance. Go ahead and like us on LinkedIn, connect with us on Facebook, LinkedIn. We would love to see you. And with that, I appreciate everybody. Okay, now all of you got to stop telling me what the weather is. This is not nice.
Time for you to move.
I know. It sounds like it. All right. So let's get the conversation rolling with Rob. I'm sure you guys
Absolutely.
are
Absolutely.
tired of hearing my funny voice. Um, so Rob is he's the head of our preset appointment program that we contract with, and Rob is um, worked with Steve Murray, our president here, to really provide our agents with a wonderful opportunity to be able to have some preset appointments. This really, really activated hardcore when COVID started hitting everybody and messing up our plans and how we used to run things. And this is going to be the way of the future eventually. I mean, it already is. So with that, Rob, I'm gonna let you introduce and kind of introduce the program. And I do encourage everybody to use that question box for questions that you have. We love the interaction. See if you can stump Rob. But
For sure.
um,
For sure.
you know, I love to give him a challenge because of the bec- just because he's in warmer weather than me, okay? So,
Exactly.
um, so Rob, take it away.
Yep. Good morning, everybody. Hey, thank you for spending time with us today. And we know how important your time is, so we don't want to waste it. But we'll get up and running here. And just to give you a little bit of overview about, who we are, what we do, how we do it. Number one, we've had a great relationship with IMS for the last, it's almost been 5 years now, Lisa. I think time flies.
Time
Um,
flies when you're having
and I know it's crazy. There's a lot of opportunities out there, and before I really talk about our system and how it works, and I think some key things Lisa hit on that, a lot of agents don't think about and stuff that I see, because I deal with tens of thousands of you, it seems like, all the time. And, a lot of, I was in the consulting business for a long time. And one of the things I see with agents where they kind of get distracted a little bit and where IMS can really help you out is, most agents spend 2/3 of their day every day trying to figure out, hey, how am I going to get in front of somebody? You know, who's going to build my website? What about marketing pieces? Well, you're not experts in that area, unfortunately. At least most of you aren't. I'm sure there's a few of you out there that can figure it out. But the issue becomes is you're doing a job that you're not really making any money on. Is there an ROI on it? Yes, but your investment of your time, you'd rather be selling a policy and making $3,000 a pop. And so what I see happen and with the appointment side of the system, and then you team up with IMS and get them to do some of your marketing pieces, is most agents, bottom line, spend 2/3 of their day trying to figure out how they're going to get in front of their client, and maybe 1/3 of their day, so to say, kneecap to kneecap, or in today's times, maybe it's Zoom or on a call with somebody. And that's where you make your money. And so if between IMS and getting set up with them on their marketing side and their production side, with their websites and all that fun stuff, and then having them hook you into our appointment setting thing, if we can fill in that 2/3 of the day for you, guess what's going to happen to your business? It's going to be between double and triple. So just think about that a little bit. I mean, it's at the beginning of the new year. Get started off on the right foot, and the way you guys all make money in this industry is activity. You got to have people in front of you. It's a numbers game. So I'll tell you a little bit about the appointment setting system, just a 10,000-foot overview, how it works, what goes on with it, and where we're different. Number one, it's an appointment setting system, like Lisa said. We're not a lead system. So the cool things about that, what are the cool things about that? Well, part of the problem with a lead system is, hey, when you start up with it, all these lead companies, and I always joke around, you know why they charge you $3,000 up front? Because you're never going to come back and use their leads, probably, right? Those of you that have been in the industry, if you're just starting out, I don't think leads can necessarily be too bad, but it's a lot of phone time. So there's getting a lot of phone exercise. The average 100 leads, this is just a national average, the average 100 leads you will call on, the first 60 people won't answer. The next 30 people are going to say, take me off the list for the 50th time, not realizing it's been sold 50 times to 50 different
Mm-hmm.
people, right? And then you got a shot at the last 10 of them. Well, if you're a super duper closer, you're going to close about 2.2 of those. If you're an average agent, you're going to close somewhere between 0.8 and 1 out of 100. Um, the other thing is too, there's a lot of pivoting going on. So number one, we're an appointment setting company. Number two, we don't give away anything for free. A lot of lead companies do that. We don't give away free gift cards, free Amazon cards, free iPads, or free anything else. Um, these appointments, when we create them, we're reaching out to the client. We start talking to them about their pensions and retirements. Hey, would you like to know more about your pensions and retirements? Would you like to know when you can retire? Would you like to know what options are available for income when you retire? Would you like to know how many more years you possibly have to work? And from that, they're either yes or no. If they're no, we let them go away. If they're yes, this is something else that's different about our system, is we actually make the client go in and schedule the appointment for the date and the time they would like to have the call. So they're doing it on their parameters. Our system grabs that appointment and then delivers it to you, and I'll explain that down the road. The fourth thing that's really different about what we do, and the cool thing about being associated with IMAS is taking care of your registration fees, your monthly access fees. They're taking care of all that. You guys won't be charged a dime. The other thing is, we don't want you guys as agents to get distracted. We don't want you to be an accountant. We don't want one to be one either. So we don't pre-charge you anything. When you go through our sign-up process, you put a credit card in the back office. We actually bill you on the day of the appointment. So if you have 4 appointments on next Thursday, we'll confirm those prior to the appointment. Any of those appointments that get canceled will come off your calendar. And let's just say 2 of them got canceled or rescheduled. They come off your calendar, and even the rescheduled one, even though it's down the road, you won't be billed on it until the day of the appointment. So in that example, you would be billed for the 2 appointments that are on your calendar. So those are a couple of the big things. Lise, did I miss anything right there that you want to reiterate on?
No, I mean, you hit the nail on the head there. One thing I do want to, reiterate, because we get a lot of questions and I have a lot of conversations in regards to Rob's program here, and that is that the appointment is being initiated by the client. There's no free
Absolutely.
gifties, like I love, and unless the client is registering for appointments on 15 different websites, this client is not on any list that's being sold. So you won't be the 10th person that reached out to them. You remind them, hey, I'm calling you because you scheduled this appointment with me. You want my help,
Absolutely.
you know?
Absolutely.
So,
And it does make a big difference, you guys, because for those of you who haven't purchased something like that in the past, or maybe you have, typically that phone call is, oh, yeah, well, no, I just registered because I wanted to win a free trip, or I wanted a free iPad. Well,
mhm,
now you have to do the song and the dance. And those of you who are great at making that pivot and being able to pivot from, yeah, well, Sally, here's why you need life insurance, or here's why you need an IUL because, you've got a pension shortfall or whatever, trying to get them there. That's a 45-minute song and dance. Well, you're not selling, you're just trying to convince them even to consider it. And that's if you can keep them on the phone, right? And so
mhm,
the challenge there becomes is it's a waste of your time. I mean, what's cool about our system, and I can tell you, pre-COVID, um, we were selling probably about 97% of our appointments, were being scheduled face to face. That being said, I did have a few, like I had one larger group who has a little smaller group. It's still a pretty big group, but about 1,100 agents, 11 to 1,500 agents that have been buying we call a VC, or virtual or video conference appointment, from us for the last 5 years. So that's 3 years prior to COVID, and they crush it. The cool thing about that is this guys gives you guys the abilities to spread your wings, where before, if you said, and I'll explain the markets a little bit, but if you just said, hey, I live in St. Louis and I only want to be in the St. Louis area, well, you might be licensed in a couple states. Somebody just said they're from Florida because the weather's beautiful, and I like Florida better than California, so maybe I'll move down there. But the big thing is we have a bunch of clients that are in Florida. And Lisa, you have some of these clients that are in Florida. They're originally from Pennsylvania. They've been in Florida for 20 years, but
mhm.
they're dual licensed, and they're running appointments from us in both places and doing very well, you
Yep.
know? Miss Sandra, for example, right? Look at how many
Mm-hmm.
different states she runs. I don't even know how many she's in. She's in so many states. So you guys, the ability to grow and build your business and take it to the next level is huge on this side. A couple things, the next step. Hey, what markets are these appointments in? There's a few different markets we offer appointments in. One of them is the K through 12 school teacher market. I know to some people that doesn't sound very sexy, but we have some agents. I've got a guy up in Chicago that buys, we don't have agents, but I have a client in Chicago who's an agent that buys appointments from us. He works just the K through 12 market. The guy's making $100,000 a month on his own pen, and he's life licensed only. Um,
Yep.
and so, consistently doing very well. I mean, that's probably one of the top producers, but that's one market. The other market is any colleges. So think about colleges, universities. And when we say, K through 12, we're talking about the school teachers, the administrators, the people that work in the schools. It's not with the, kids as parents or anything. So the cool thing about what we do in our appointment setting thing is everybody we market to has jobs. The college market, it's going to be all the college employees. It's going to be professors. That's a great market if you want to work it. Those guys are,
If
making an average, I think, around 200,000 a year.
if you've ever
The
worked
other,
with a professor or some sort of an educator, I mean, those guys are brilliant. But when it comes to their retirement, you would be surprised of how much you could help them. So, I mean, that's a great category there.
Absolutely. And then we also do the city, county, municipal type people. So think of policemen, firemen, city, county people. We have access to that as well. And then the big thing too, and this has been really a hot market for us and, over at IMAS too with their agents has been the federal market.
Hmm.
Those of you that have worked the federal market, you've probably worked some of the low hanging fruit, meaning the postal market. We don't do anything really there. I mean, we have some little data in a couple states, very little. We own almost every piece of data for the VA hospitals across the country in every state. There's appointments sitting there right now on the calendar. One thing that's cool, you guys, as we go through this registration process, you'll be able to pick any of the markets you want. If you want to run K through 12 and federal, fine. If you want to run only federal, fine. There's no contracts, no limitations, because of the association with IMES. So it's pretty cool. The other thing that's nice, and I'll use this as an example, but what's it look like when you register as an agent? I'll kind of cut to that really quick. It's pretty simple sign up. Lisa and her sales team over at IMES will give you guys a registration link. You'll go in and register. You put your name in there. You'll put a credit card in the back office. You'll contact us via email inside the appointment company over here, and you'll reach out to us, and we'll turn around and we'll put you at a VIP price. I don't know if you want to bring that up now, Lisa, or wait for a minute.
Yeah, sure. I do have a question here.
Yeah.
And this might be something that's going on with other folks too. I mean, and it's a question I answer quite a bit, Rob. Is where is the prospect getting the quote unquote information message?
Oh, okay. Great question. Hey, how are we contacting people? Everything we do is digital, so it's either going to be email campaigns, geofencing, pinpoint marketing, one of those. But we reach out to them digitally, and when we reach out to them, in this case, whether it's a VA doctor or a professor or principal at a K through 12 school, the message is pretty much the same, and we'll get into that a little bit more after I go through this registration process. So let's just hold off on that one. But that registration process, you'll sign in, you'll pick your districts, you'll put a credit card in the back office. One thing I want to make you guys aware of that's really cool, our system has a calendar in it. It does sync with Google Calendar. So if you're currently using a Google Calendar, our system will sync with that. But the system runs from 7 a.m. till 8 p.m. Monday through Friday. You can opt in for Saturday or Sundays. Here's what the cool part is. If you go, hey, I don't work on Fridays, good for you. Block your calendar out and we won't deliver any appointments. Hey, I've got a client that I've, have had for 15 years. I'm going to see him next Thursday at 3 o'clock. I don't want to be bothered after 3 o'clock. No problem. Go and block your calendar, 3 o'clock till 8 p.m. You won't get any appointments. So that part of it's really cool. When an appointment's created for you and delivered to you, you'll get a text message. It would pop up on your phone, ding, hey Lisa, please check your calendar and your email. So we'll deliver the appointment to the calendar, and we'll also deliver it to the email. I think, Lisa, maybe you have a slide of that, what that looks like, I believe,
Yep, I
which is
just
up,
switched, I just flipped that over. And,
up on the
one thing,
screen.
yep, it's on there now. One thing I do like to make it very clear to my agents is, I don't want you going out, with your hair on fire on this stuff. I would rather you start out slow and get your feet wet and get your process down and how you want to roll with these appointments, and then start picking up the pace. So, like
Yep,
Rob explains it, your calendar is your throttle. And that is really the best way to put it. The more open your calendar is, you can count on probably having an appointment. So if you want to start out slow, then maybe just block off everything except for a couple hours for 1 or 2 days that week. See how those appointments
exactly.
go for you. Because the last thing, we don't want you frustrated, and it doesn't do IMS any good or you any good to spend, your money on appointments that you're not going to be able to close or follow through with. So we
Right.
want this to be a successful program so that you are able to grow your business with it.
Exactly. And the picture that Lisa has up for those of you looking at it is a picture of actually an agent's calendar. What you see there in green, those are all appointments. Um, Now, do you have to take, like I see that first week, there's what, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. There's 13 appointments on the calendar. No, you don't. Like I said, because of the association with IMS, there's no minimums, there's no maximums. But like Lisa said, get your feet wet, get a good process going and get comfortable with it. Don't overload yourself at first because we'll talk a little bit about the sales process and what happens in this, what I see on our side and where we can bypass a couple problems that are predominant across the insurance industry. The two biggest challenges agents have. We'll talk about that in a second. But the nice thing is, like I said, you just block that calendar out. Most of these appointments are going to be 2 appointment closers. So ideally, if you're a properly trained agent, hey, you're only going to need, 5 appointments a week from us because you're going to do what? Number one, ask for referrals, some of that stuff, the referral rate in this environment is extremely high. So, a couple of the challenges, let's talk about it, for those of you at least looking back on last year. I think if everyone answered me at the same time, the answers would probably be the same. But if I said, hey, you're in the financial services industry, what are the two biggest challenges of being a life insurance agent? What are they? Most of the agents are going to tell me, number one, how do I meet a new client? Well, meeting somebody, although a little more challenging in this COVID time, but in general, usually not that hard. You and I grab somebody and you and I go to lunch and we sit down at the restaurant bar and we order some lunch and somebody sits down beside us. Well, it's pretty easy to stick your hand out and they go, hi, I'm Rob, or I'm Steve, or I'm Sally, or I'm Lisa. Hi, Lisa. You know, my name's Rob. Hey, well, what do you do? Blah, blah, blah. That's the easy part. And every one of you, I guarantee you, have something all in your phone. You guys all have a contact in your phone, a friend, a family member, or whatever, that you go bowling with, that you go golfing with, you go have drinks with, their spouse or whatever it is. You get together, movie night, barbecue, whatever, but you've never got them to push their finances across the table. So the biggest challenge is really not meeting in somebody. It's how do I get them to push their finances across the table, right? Well, the nice thing about our appointments, we didn't set it up to have them go buy, because they wanted to win an iPad. We set it up because they want a pension retirement review. So the next biggest challenge I hear out of agents, hey, and you guys are all going to laugh about this, but everybody I run into that has a job and has some income already has what? A financial advisor, right? And how do you get around it? And it's hard. I mean, I've worked with agents that have been in this business way longer than I probably am old, 40 years, 50 years, whatever. And I've heard every pitch out there and about, hey, it doesn't hurt to get a second opinion and blah, 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 blah. And some of them work better and some of them work at times on one person and don't work on another person. Your opportunity in this environment in going down this, so to say, rabbit hole, and where there's the biggest opportunity is most of these people, and I'm going to tell you a story. It's like I had 10,000 agents in a crowd one time pre-COVID, right? And I'm like, hey, everybody raise your hand if you've got a policeman, fireman, somebody, a teacher, a professor, whatever, that participates in a pension. In your current book of business, raise your hand. I swear 10,000 hands went up. I said, keep your hands up. And I go, keep your hands up if you've ever reviewed that client of yours that you've had pension. You know how many hands are up in the air? About 4 or 5 in the whole crowd. And that's the opportunity. And I'm going to take you through my little spiel. I'll let Lisa fill it in, but what goes on these appointments is really easy. Hey, and you're going to ask, well, how do I figure out their pension and all that? Lisa's going to help you with that. The team over at IMAS are experts. They have software, they have this, they have that, they have all the training to help you learn how to do this. But when you go out with these clients, number one, 91 to 92% of them have no clue what they're going to retire with. And so typically I'm sitting in front of Sally, who's school teacher, and I go, Sally, what do you think you're going to retire with? And she goes, well, I don't know. Well, give me a guess, Sally. And she goes, 80 grand a year. And I go, great. Where'd you get that? And she goes, I've been teaching for, 18 years and I've been making 80 grand the last 3 years. I assume with my time of service and I'm making 80 grand, I'll retire with 80 grand. Great, Sally. Hey, by the way, in the beginning of this conversation, you told me you had a financial advisor. Did he not go over this with you? No, why? Well, Sally, can you retire on 42 grand a year? She's like, well, absolutely not. Why? Guy, I can't believe your advisor didn't go over this with you. I just thrown the guy under the bus twice. And when I'm finished, that advisor will never get out. I've seen people in this business go in doing pension reviews, take agents who have had clients for 20 years with agents that have been in the business for a year just by going through this one little pitch. Sally, let me take you through it. Here's how it's calculated. God, I can't believe he didn't do that. So, Sally, look, here's your calculation. And I got good news and I got bad news. The good news is, you got a little over half your expectation covered, 42,000. The bad news is, Sally, you're $38,000 short. Hey, Sally, your hot shot advisor that you have, what do you put in place to cover that 38 grand? Well, nothing. Well, maybe you thought you're going to use the Walmart greeter plan, right? No,
Mhm.
I don't want to use the Walmart greeter plan. Well, Sally, what do you have in place to cover it? Well, nothing. Well, the big thing about getting and going down that path is when you show them that shortfall. All these people have a shortfall. It's usually between 30 and about 60%. They don't
Mhm.
know it's there. And that is your opportunity. So I just threw the guy under the bus 3 times. And what we really see happen with most of these appointments from there is the next spiel on it is, hey, Sally, I'm a little worried about your financial advisor. He didn't tell you're only going to make 42 grand, didn't tell you're $38,000 short, didn't put anything in place to cover it. I'm just curious, did he let you know you've got a little bit of tax liability on the 42,000? Well, they're going to answer that always, 99 times out of 100, with 3 things. Number one, no. Number two, how much do I owe? Well, of course, you can only estimate, right? But it seems like taxes are always doing what? And they're going to
Going up.
reply, going up. Exactly,
Mhm.
Lisa. And then the next thing is, hey, what can I do to avoid the taxes? And then you're going to be doing what? Writing an IUL, right? I mean, that's Lisa got to be where 99% of your people that buy her appointments go, I would think.
Mhm. Yep. Well, and another thing, keep in mind these are appointments that belong to you now. So, I've got a question here, and I don't know if we may have skipped over this, Rob, because we've talked about it so much, but these are all going to be either a phone call or a virtual Zoom call.
Right,
Excuse me.
right.
So what that means is you don't have to leave your house.
Yep.
And that is the two options. The client has option A, to have a phone call conversation with you as the first appointment, or option B is to have a Zoom call. So you do need to make sure that your computer is set up to be, have the access to Zoom, because that is going to be the expectations of the client if that's the direction they choose. And if you need help with that, we can always assist you and take you to the right direction. That's not a problem. But Excuse me. But yeah, so hopefully that answered your question, Jackson. Sorry we didn't
The
cover that
the other one
real
I
well.
saw, Lisa, sorry, the other one I saw come through was, hey, how do you select your districts? Well, the cool thing is, let's just talk about the VA federal hospitals right now. You can go in and pick independently each VA hospital. If you want to go, hey, I want to run the VA hospital for Northern Florida, great. Or you can go in and pick it by the state. Hey, I want to run every VA hospital in the state of Florida. Our system's that concise. Same thing with the school district, same thing with a college. Hey, I want to run the University of Utah in Salt Lake City, Utah. Great. Pick out University of Utah. I want to run the University of Florida in Florida. Great. Pick that out. So you can independently pick them out or pick them by states. One thing I want, and Lisa and I always forget about this, and I just remembered it. I kind of mentioned an overflow calendar. Maybe I did, maybe I didn't. Maybe we pre-talked about it. But what is an overflow calendar? For some of you guys, it's like, hey, I'm excited about this. How soon can I get going? You can get going now. Reach out to Lisa and her team, get hooked up. It's going to take you 10 minutes to sign up into our system. Here's one of the cool things about our system. Because the client's creating the appointment, it's a little bit different. So Lisa and I decide, hey, we want the University of Florida, and we're both opted in there. Well, let's just say the system goes and it creates 3 appointments for 3 o'clock on Tuesday. Well, one of those appointments is going to go to Lisa. One of the appointments is going to come to me, and then there's going to be an extra appointment. Well, where does that extra appointment go? It goes on to what's called an overflow calendar. And what an overflow calendar is it's available for the agents now. Right now, there's probably 60 appointments sitting on that overflow calendar that you could pick up, that you could go on between now and probably Tuesday,
What I'm
between
hearing there,
tomorrow and
Rob, is that right now we've got more appointments than agents
Tuesday. We always
availability.
make, yep, exactly. And we always make more than, just because of that, just because remember the client scheduling the appointment at the time they prefer. What happens with those appointments is typically agents go in. It's like, I think there were almost 60 overflow appointments sitting on the calendar today, that were all picked up since Monday. And they get picked up by agents. It's a great couple things. Number one, you want to get started right away. B, number two is you might go, hey, it's Friday, my wife and I are going to go do whatever, my spouse and I are going to go do whatever. And then all of a sudden plans change. Well, you had your calendar blocked out. Well, now you can go into the overflow and go, hey, I'm going to do a little bit of business. Click, click, click. Oh, hey, you know what? There's a college appointment. I haven't tried a college appointment before. I want one of those. Click. So the agents usually pick them up. The ones that don't get picked up, we reach out to and contact those clients and do reschedule them for further down the road with an agent. So, but they usually are all picked up by agents. So yes, Lisa, you are correct. There's more appointments than there are agents on that side of it.
Yep. So that's a good. And of course, I mean, everybody's got their slow and heavy seasons and all that. So, I mean, like if you're doing AEP or something, obviously you're just going to block out your calendar, put it on hold. Is that for that busy time of the year where you're swamped with AP or med subs or whatever. And then, that's over. Now, what are you going to do? Well, you can pick up this again and start having appointments here. So, the cool thing also, and I remind my guys all the time about this, is that these are your prospects. At one time or another, they had some questions about retirement or maybe college planning or something with their pension. Keep them in your CRM. Keep dripping on them. Maybe they didn't have anything right now, but stay in front of them with whatever campaign or whatever system you're using. I've got I got some folks that was using this program, this exact program, for a number, I don't know, maybe 2 years, and they haven't gotten any more appointments because they have so much in their CRM from these appointments that they just keep finding referrals and all that from this existing business that came from Rob. So
Absolutely.
there's
Absolutely.
there's a lot of opportunity out there, guys. Stay in front of them. Do your job as an insurance professional or advisor or whatnot, and you just got to keep. I mean, you got to keep playing the game. You gotta you gotta play if you're gonna win, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. And the big thing about all of it is it's you guys. It still goes back to the same thing. It's just about having activity. And I
Hmm.
think one of the things Lisa said, most of you out there, at least on this call, have been in this business for a little while. you know, this isn't something to replace your business. I mean, are there some agents that are taking 8 appointments a day? Absolutely. But, in general, this is just a great way to continue to grow your business. Like I said, if we can fill you in 2/3 of the day when you're not busy, if you're looking at your calendar right now and you don't have an appointment on it, well, let us fill it in because you might as
Hmm.
well do something with it, right? Otherwise, hey, you want to, if your goal this year is, hey, you know, I made 200 grand this year, I want to make 600 grand. Well, the only way you're going to make 600 grand this year is by having activity, and
Yep.
that's by getting busy doing whatever, and so that's the important thing. But I think, the places I don't see very many failures in our system, to be honest with you. I mean, most of the people that are on our system stay on it. Where I do see people get off is most of the cases, like Lisa said, hey, if you're smart about your business, you're going to go in. Let's just say you have 5 appointments this week, and out of the 5 appointments, you get 3 second appointments on those people. Well, if you ask the 3 second appointments when you finish up with them for referrals, ask them for a couple referrals. Hey, most agents don't ask, hey, Sally, if you thought my service was really good today, do you have a couple peers that, friends, family members that you think could use my services? And just zip it and have your pen out, and they're going to give you some names, you know.
Yep.
And I have one of our groups, and they actually on their fact finder require that. That's the last page of their fact finder is they ask for referrals. Those guys average about 3.2 or 3.3 referrals per appointment. That's what they average as a company, and it's about 420 writing agents somewhere in that area, a little over 400
Imagine what your
writing agents.
CRM would look like if you got all those referrals. I mean, I was an agent back in the day. I get it. Asking for referrals can be awkward, but be confident with it, and you'll be surprised how it impacts your business. Rob,
Absolutely.
I know people are dying to know what the cost is on this. I'm totally down to go over that for a few minutes because I don't want
Yep.
them. I looks like
Absolutely.
we're getting towards the
So
end. Go
yeah,
ahead.
a couple things on that I want to say. Typically our appointments cost are usually $100 per appointment or more, typically. There's a couple appointments that we left out there, and I'm going to talk about them. But the cool thing is with IMES, you guys are $64 across the board, whether you get a college appointment or whether you get a federal appointment or whether you get a K through 12 appointment. The other thing is and we don't create a ton of appointments there, but we do have life insurance general appointments. And usually for IMES, those appointments, I think, Lise, you're going to have to help me out. I want to say they're 129. I know they're usually 149 or 159 in our system. But for those of you that get in there and get signed up right away with IMES, we're going to make it $64 flat across the board, whether you want to whether you want a life insurance appointments or pension or federal or VA hospital or whatever. We'll offer that to you guys right now on this call, and Lisa will just have to remind me on those, Lisa, when they come through, because they are, I think you guys are at 129 or 139. I can't remember, Lisa. And I don't know if you do on the life insurance ones, at least.
I'd have to
Yeah,
double check.
it doesn't matter. All you guys, you'll be at $64. There you go. 64
That's
bucks across
awesome.
the board. Yep.
I think that we talked about time is money. How much time would it have taken you? How much money and marketing would it have taken you to be able to get those appointments on your book? I mean, seriously, think about that. So $64 is not a bad price whatsoever to have an interested party set up an appointment with you on their end. They initiated it. Um, and then the thing I wanted to kind of point out is, I've had several conversations this week as well. Everybody's trying to ramp up and figure out what their marketing plans is and how they're going to run their business for 2022, their goals and all that stuff. One thing that I've had a lot of conversations with is with, more senior agents that want to bring on junior agents. This is a great way for them to cut their teeth in the business. They've got you to
Absolutely.
still mentor them and, help them, but you maybe not want to have, junior calling on your $5 million client and cutting his teeth on that guy. You,
Right.
um, not to say you won't have a phone call with a $5 million client on one of these appointments. I've seen it, but this is a great way for you to kind of sit with them, help them on the sales process, things like that, and
Yeah,
get
Lisa,
their
I
book
have,
started.
yeah, exactly. I have one comment on that for all of you out there. I mean, some of you that have been in this business for a while are like, oh, yeah, I've tried recruiting in the past and da, da, da. And, it is a challenge, right? But usually the challenge is you can keep yourself busy, but you can't keep your agent busy. That's the biggest challenge, right?
Hmm.
And so part of the problem is, or part of the issue, at least in the past, and we can come up with a solution for that, is you're doing one of two things. You were either recruiting or you're selling. And when you're recruiting, you don't have any income coming in, so you need to have deep pockets. What Lisa is telling you guys, if you'll read between the lines, is this is your opportunity. Look, you can go recruit a brand new agent and it doesn't matter where they are. You go to a friend's, your wife's wedding, or your wife's sister's wedding, and hopefully it's not your wife's wedding, because you better be there for it. But your wife's sister's wedding in Texas, and you meet the neighbor, and you think the neighbor would be a great insurance person, and you're living in Florida, and you're like, "Guy, how am I going to help this person?" Now you can do it. You're like,
Yep.
"Hey, look, come underneath me. Get them contracted underneath you. Tell them, hey, I want you on the next 10 calls with me. Just listen. Don't say a
Yeah.
word.
You can
Listen. You're going to
conference
learn."
and be on a conference
Exactly.
call. You can be included on the Zoom
Exactly.
call. I mean,
Exactly.
this is
And so
very
they're in on the
flexible.
call listening. Exactly. They're in on the call listening. After, they go through the first 10, you're comfortable with your agent. You turn around and you tell your agent, hey, the next 3 calls, I want you to take the lead on it. I'm going to be on there with you. If there's a problem, you'll just revert back to me. Oh, hey, yeah, Sally, that's a great question about life insurance. But, I actually have Steve on the phone and he's an expert in that area. So, hey, Steve, can you answer a question on that? Well, now it looks, so the guy doesn't look like they don't know what's going on, right? But when you're comfortable with that agent, now you just tell them, hey, I'm going to get you hooked up through IMAS. I mean, they're already hooked up through IMAS because they're underneath you. Just get them registered in the appointment system, and we'll turn around and we'll turn around and get them fired up in appointments. And now you've got another person or another hand earning money for you. You know,
Yep,
so
absolutely. A lot of
lots of opportunity.
opportunity. Yep. And again, Rob's not going to hold your feet to the fire on, a contract or anything like that. Like you said, I mean, then we've got other programs here at IMS, but what we like about working with Rob is that, what, if you go on a few of these and, it's just maybe not for you, or you have a hard time figuring out how to use WebEx or whatever the case is, we can always help you through those. Call me or your marketer here at IMS and talk about the case, talk about how that appointment went. We do this all the time. I mean, that's our job, is to help you write business. So give us a call. Let us know how that appointment went. Let's talk about it. Let's see how we can, turn it into a sale. So don't forget about your people here at IMS. This is what we do. We help you grow your business and, leverage these tools with Rob and other tools that we have here to help you with that. Rob, we are running out of time. I want to launch one more poll question for those folks that are interested in this program, or maybe just wants to have a quick call with their marketer or with myself or even Rob. I don't know if you want to talk to Rob really, but I mean, he's there. No, just kidding.
Yeah, real funny. No, I
Oh,
just
we
want to
love
say
Rob. We love
I'm gonna
you.
I'm gonna let you launch that while I want to tell everybody, hey, thanks for your time, and I will look forward to talking to each and every one of you, and you will eventually talk to probably me more than likely
Yep.
once you get signed into the system. So we'll reach out to you and make sure everything's good to go before we so to say flip the switch.
Yep.
Um, anyway,
Yep.
um,
Well, and I will tell you, there's we got some support here, so it's not like you're gonna sign up on this and then, yep, good luck. See you later.
yeah. And
Um,
that's the big thing too, Lise. Let me say one last thing kind of in closing, at least on my side, is, you know, this business is about take a hand, hold a hand. And the one cool thing, and one of the reasons I enjoy doing these calls, and Lisa and I have a call like this almost every month, is because it's good to see an IMO really support their agents, and not a lot of them do it. And so, on this side, it's like, hey, we love the clients. I call you agents clients. We love the clients that we see come through our system from IMS, and the reason is because we're not in the insurance business, but IMS is. We're a tech company. We make appointments, but with the support and the helping hand of Lisa and her team over there, I mean, they do a great job, and it does help agents be very, very successful. So it is a key component in addition to just having the appointment for sure, So
Yep. Appreciate that, Rob. Thanks for the kudos.
absolutely.
All right. Well, out of respecting all of your time, we promise not to go over an hour. Rob and I can talk about our excitement in this program for days in and days out, because it's just such a good fit for so many folks. I love helping you guys grow your business. I love the partnership that I have with Rob, that we have here at IMS with Rob. I like to try to keep him to myself sometimes, but
Exactly.
but I do appreciate all of you. I'm going to end the poll. I'm going to throw one more slide in here. Here's our contact information. I mentioned in the beginning of this webinar, you got one phone number. One phone number. This is going to be the phone number you would call if you needed an update on a case. This is going to be the phone number you call if you need an illustration or someone to walk you through a case or a strategy. Talk to our IMS Wealth Management guys. I mean, just one number. You don't have to look through and say, okay, well, I type 1 for accounting, I type 2 for new business. IMS is a family organized, organization started by Charles Sr. Steve Murray is now the president. He's been with us forever and doing a wonderful job. And we don't have voicemail. I mean, you're going to get a live body. It could be me answering the phone. It could be Steve Murray answering the phone. I mean, there's no shame in that game, but we have a 2-ring guarantee here. Want to remind you guys that, we're going to assist you on the first time you call. So that definitely sets us apart from all the folks out there, um, wanting your business as well. We guarantee that we're going to help you out. And with that, Rob, enjoy your sunshine. People in Florida, enjoy
Absolutely.
your
You enjoy your
sunshine.
snow.
Us here in the Midwest, and I know I've got some Midwest folks on this call too. I know you feel my pain. So thank you all so much for your time again and joining us today. And I will try to follow up with y'all here in the next day or two with answering questions and those that um, answer the polls and all that good stuff. So have a great rest of the day. Good luck to you in 2022, and I hope you're as excited for success as I am. Thank you all. Have a good one.